One, two, one, two, one. Turn me up. Turn me up.
The champ is here.
It's your boy, Been Israel, the People's Champ, back with another YouTube live stream. Shalom, Israel. Shalom, you Negroes. Shout out to my trolls. Hope everybody is doing well today. We're closing out June 13th, 2026, Saturday Night Live, y'all. We're going to get it in a little bit. Yeah, baby. On your way in the door, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Smash the bell. Share it to your socials. Hit the Cash App. $, send to the number 2, the letter V. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. Move around. Plenty of places to be out here in these YouTube streets. Shout out to Love Dorsey. Oh, man. I stayed on a long time with y'all today. Now I'm getting that double-double in. Put up a double-double today, y'all. And I gave y'all a couple of shorts. So I've been working today. Almost missed dinner. Went over to Golden Corral to get me a salad, and I was late. They was already closed. Man, what the hell? I lost total track of time today. Messing around with y'all. With the people. It's all good. It's all good. So we're going to talk about some things tonight. We're going to recap a little bit what we talked about earlier. All right. Yeah, we're going to recap a little bit. And we're going to talk about a couple other topics. We're just freestyle-ish kind of thing, little flow. See what we can come up with. Maybe even drop the link, let some people come up. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. See if we had a little bit of traffic earlier today. Let's see if we can recreate that. And I appreciate everyone's contribution earlier. But some of you, as I started that video, y'all just talk to be talking. Y'all don't even watch the video. You don't listen. You just jump in here, and typically y'all respond to what you think. You have like a preconceived notion for some reason of what you think I'm talking about, and get it totally ass backwards. I saw that even afterwards, some of the comments people were leaving. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm wondering, like, did you even want some of the shorts? Did you even listen to the short? It wasn't that long. At least take the time to listen to a 1-minute short before you try to respond to it without knowing what you're talking about. I just don't understand that ignorance, that level of ignorance, where you don't want to have a factual basis. You just talk to be talking and then accusing me of stuff. I'm like, did you read what I said? Just like earlier during the live stream. I said high school. They talking about grad school, college. I said high school. I was very clear on what I said. I said, show me the pictures from Obama during his high school years. Why are they talking about, oh, he was at the Harvard Review. He graduated cum laude or whatever. What that got to do with what I just said? Nothing. Nothing. And I even went live. I doxed myself. I fact checked myself live using 2 different AIs. I used Alexa and I used Gemini live. Right? I don't know why y'all can't do that. But no, y'all jump up on here on the internet and with your feelings, and you just don't know what you're talking about. Congratulations to the New York Knicks for winning their first championship since 1973. That's 53 years. 53 years, and these Knicks brought the championship home to the Big Apple. Congratulations. Good, well done. Good job. Gentlemen sweep, 4 games to 1. But that San Antonio team is going to be a hell of a team in a few short years. That's going to be the future. That boy Wemby he's something. He's something special. So congratulations to all of the NBA players who participated in the finals. Being a runner-up to the finals is no slouch. You're number 2 in the NBA. So hold your heads up high, young men. Did a good job. The Knicks just happen to be better when it counts at the end of the game. You can start out on fire all you want. Got it. It's like I saw that in track. Some people would start out out of the block super fast, and they get to them last 50 feet, and they had nothing left, and that's where they lose the race. You got to have a kick. You got to have a kick at the end of the game or the end of the meet. You know, so you could finish strong. It's all about how you finish. That's why a lot of times I post videos on Friday and I'm encouraging everyone to finish the week strong. Got to finish the week strong. It don't matter how strong you were in the beginning of that week. You got to finish the week strong. I kind of thought at the beginning of the game that the Knicks were going to throw the game so that they could try to win it on their home court, game 6. But my original prediction stands. I said 5 games. That was my original prediction. So, it was just that time, man. It's more the basketball than having the best team. It's about having the best team at the right time. That's often what wins championships. The best team throughout the season don't always win the championship. It'll be that team that kind of lingered around and they capitalized on the opportunities that was in front of them. And both the Knicks and the Spurs did that. So my hat's off to them. Good job. Let me get this camera right. I want to make sure I think that's better. Let's see. Yeah. Good. So I also did a video, little short video about the child case down in Columbia, South Carolina. That's the Asian man who shot and killed the young black boy. Self-defense. A lot of y'all trying to stir up the racism talk on that one too, especially since the Carmelo case is over. Y'all gonna try to move right on. Like I said earlier, y'all just jump from one thing to the next to try to keep them flames going. So I did a video on why that was self-defense. Because again, y'all go by y'all emotions, what you think in your head, what should be right based on nothing, but you don't know the law. But y'all quick to say something is illegal. Well, that's illegal. And y'all don't know what the law is. So in South Carolina, self-defense laws are based on what you perceive at the time of the incident. Okay? You and nobody else. It don't matter what the cameras show. It don't even matter what eyewitnesses show. It matters more so on you perceiving a reasonable perception, a reasonable belief from your perspective on what happened at that time, in that moment in time. That's what matters. So, supposedly, allegedly, the young man, 14, Belmont, he supposedly stole something in the store, but then he put it up, whatever, neither here nor there. He runs out of the store. Rick is the Asian man. That's the store owner. His son is Andy. Andy chases after Belmont. And then Rick comes after that. Rick comes up after. And then his son yells out, he's got a gun. Rick, the dad, that's the dad, shoots the 14-year-old kid in the back. Because from his perspective, these are facts. See, facts happen. We know it's a fact. It's not allegedly. This isn't my opinion. This is a fact now. Based on the fact was determined in the court of law. His son yells out, he's got a gun, kills the kid. All it matters is Rick's perception at that time. At that moment in the time, based on what his son said. That's what we got. But y'all want to get caught up with this racism crap. Everything is racism. No, like I told y'all earlier, there's some monsters out here. Now, why didn't the boy pay for his boy? Did he have money? If he had the money, why he just ain't paid for it? Now, one thing I'm not sure about is if he actually had a gun. I'm not sure about that. So let's find out now. Computer, did the Belmont kid that was shot by Rick Chow, did he have a gun? Was a gun ever recovered?
Yes, Cyrus Carmack Belton had a gun. Prosecutors acknowledge he had a semi-automatic pistol, but say it fell during the chase and he never threatened anyone with it. The defense claimed the teen pointed it at Chow's son before the fatal shooting.
So, he came out of the store.
What's on your mind? I'm here to help with whatever you need.
So, he came out of the store. Surveillance cameras show that he didn't have anything in his hands. So, and if the gun fell during the chase, how did Andy know he had a gun? Computer, if the surveillance footage showed that the Belmont kid came out of the store without anything in his hands, how did Andy know he had a gun?
Yes. The surveillance footage shows Cyrus Carmack Belton leaving the store empty-handed. The video shows him picking up his backpack and walking out, with the Chows following him shortly after.
So, how did Andy know he had a gun?
Andy Cho testified that Cyrus Carmack Belton tripped, fell on the grass, and then pointed a gun at him. That's when Andy yelled, "He's got a gun," before his father fired the fatal shot.
Now, according to the testimony, did Andy or Rick ever say he had a gun?
According to Andy Chow's testimony, he saw Cyrus Carmack Belton pull out the gun after he fell during the chase. Andy testified he yelled to his father that the teen had a gun and told Carmack Belton to drop it before his father fired.
I got that. Now, at any time while they were in the store, did either Rick or Andy see the gun? Computer, at any time while they were in the store, did either of the Chows see the gun?
No, there's no evidence that Chow saw a gun while in the store. The defense claims Andy saw it after they left, but that's still being debated.
Got it.
Right. The Chows didn't see the gun in the store. What's your take on this case?
Okay, cancel.
All right, I'll wrap this up.
So, what I'm doing right now is a lot of y'all, oh, that is y'all stuff, because y'all don't, like I've been telling y'all all year, practice using it, practice interacting with it so you can use it to improve yourself. Y'all all claim y'all do knowledge, but then when y'all talk about stuff, y'all speak so ignorant of it. Speak so stupid. It was self-defense because what matters is the dad's perspective. That's Rick Chow at the time of shooting. His son called out. He's got a gun. The father shoots. That's a reasonable thing to do. I'm a father. And if it had been my son, hey, daddy got a gun, even if I can't see the gun, even if the boy's back is turned to me, he got to die. It is what it is. Because I'm making a choice between my son and this kid that came in to rob my store. Computer, did Cyrus have any money on his person?
There's no information about money on Cyrus Carmack Belton's person in the available reports.
So we don't even know if he could have legally paid for anything while he was in the store.
Right. We don't know if Cyrus had any money on him in the store. The investigation didn't find any money or wallet on him after the incident.
That's what I'm asking. So he didn't have any money. He didn't have a wallet. He didn't have any means of paying for anything in that store based on what was found or not found on his body.
That's correct. No money, wallet, or credit cards were found on Cyrus Carmack Belton.
Thank you. Stop. So, why was the kid in the store? See, y'all want to give people credit for doing the wrong thing. Minstrous women bring forth monsters. But because they play that racist card with y'all, the dog whistle, and y'all react to it instead of acting and behaving like intelligent people. He went in the store for what? No money, no wallet, no credit card, no way of paying for nothing. Why was he in the store? And why is he by himself out there in the store? How did he get to the store? Columbia, South Carolina is not necessarily a walkable city. Well, let's say he lived close to the store. Nobody's monitoring these kids. 14 is a freshman in high school. He should be behaving better than that. Why doesn't he have a little summer job? Whatever. Well, let's wait a minute. Let me back up. Computer, what was the date of the incident?
The incident occurred on June 12, 2026.
And was school out already in Columbia?
Yep, school was out in Columbia, South Carolina on June 12th. The last day of school for Columbia Public Schools was May 21st, 2026, so students were already on summer break when the incident happened.
All right, stop. So it's summer break, freshmen or rising freshmen, one of the two, no summer job. He ain't got nothing to do but try to rob a store. Monsters. It's not a black-white issue. It's not a race issue, not a black-Asian issue. He wasn't where he was supposed to be. Just like Carmelo, not where he was supposed to be, carrying a weapon. Why are all of these young boys so scared to fight? You win some, you lose some, but you win, but you live. Right? They just carrying weapons out here and scared to fight, quick to shoot, quick to stab somebody. These are monsters. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Stop making it a racial. And other people are tired of ninjas. They tired. These little monsters running all these gremlins, as Messi Michonne would call them. Shout out to Messi, my bestie. Make sure y'all subscribe to her channel. Right? People tired of it. You work hard, develop a business. He had his son working. Andy was working at the store with his father. Computer. How old was Andy?
I don't have information about Ann Carmack Belton's age.
No, Andy Chow. How old was Andy Chow?
Andy Schaaf is 40 years old, born on January 1st,
Computer.
1986.
Computer. How old was Andy Chow from Colombia, Rick Chow's son?
Andy Chow is 23 years old.
Well, so he's a man. He's a young man. Young man. How tall, computer? How tall was Andy Chow?
I don't have information about Andy Chow's height.
How tall was Cyrus Belmont?
Velma is 3 feet 11 inches tall.
Cyrus was 3 feet.
Velma is 5 feet 7 inches tall.
So Cyrus Belmont was 3 feet. Computer. Computer. How tall was Cyrus Belmont?
I don't have information about Cyrus Carmack Belton's height.
Okay. I'm curious about that. I'm wondering if he was a big kid, a large kid. That's what I'm wondering. I mean, I know Sundiata, my youngest son, at 14 was tall. You know, he didn't look like a 14-year-old. He looked like a grown man. So I was just curious. He had a baby. He still got a baby face with hair on it. But he's a tall kid. My son is 6'2", 200 some odd pounds now. He's big boy. Right? But my point is, we got to stop playing these games and playing victimhood and not taking accountability. And because these loudmouth Black women don't take accountability, and most of them are single mothers. They're raising these kids so that the kids develop that in the culture where there's just no accountability in the culture. Right? But computer, didn't that case go to trial rather fast?
The trial actually took about a week, with 3 days of testimony from 15 witnesses. The jury deliberated for nearly 8 hours before reaching a verdict. So it wasn't super quick, but also not unusually long for a murder trial.
No, what I mean is from the time of the murder until the time of the beginning of the trial. Wasn't that very fast?
You're right. It was quite rapid. The trial began nearly 3 years after the incident in May 2023.
Oh, it was May 2023. Got it. I knew I was I thought it was 2026. I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
No worries at all. You've got it now. May 2023 was the right time frame.
Yeah, being that I live so close, I'm located in Gastonia, North Carolina, in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that case totally escaped me. I wasn't keeping up with it. So I just became aware of it recently.
I totally get it. Living in Gastonia, you've got a lot going on. What sparked your interest in the case now?
A friend made a comment about it to me earlier today.
A friend brought it up today. These cases can really stick with people.
Well,
Yeah, these kinds of cases can really stick with people and spark conversations.
I'm doing a live stream, the People's Podcast, about
Oh, nice. What kind of live stream are you running?
the People's Podcast on YouTube. And I'm talking about these racial issues that really shouldn't be
Oh,
racial.
the People's Podcast on YouTube. Sounds like you're covering some important topics there. What angle are you taking on racial issues?
All right, stop. I got to get back to the podcast. I'm live right now. So sometimes the AIs get real mouthy and chit chat, which sometimes is fun. Sometimes it could be fun. Checking to see if I have any comments. No, I don't. I don't have any comments. So that's what we're gonna start tonight. Welcome to the People's Podcast. I am your host, V. Ben Ismail, the People's Champ. I am the Dark Knight, the Black MAGA, the Daywalker. I am the Shogun of Charlotte, Mr. Big Balls himself. The ladies call me the Cookie Monster. You better ask somebody. You can call me Pumpkin Escobar. I am the Heisenberg of this ish. They call me the Heisenberg because I bring you the raw, that pure, no impurities added, straight truth, no chaser. That blue high purity. V. Ben Israel, the People's Champ, but you can call me V. You can call me Iz. What else we got going on? So earlier we talked about Carmelo Anthony. Just now with my opening monologue, talked a little bit about the child case and the Belmont kid getting killed. Right? It's your responsibility as parents to control your kids. Stop trying to blame other people for these situations that your kids are putting them in. They're not walking in the situations. They're active participants. They're the aggressor. They're initiating the shit. Stop. Hey, I always gave my kids instructions on how to conduct themselves. And I wanted to know where my kids was going, even when I was at work. That's why I started putting security cameras up so I could monitor my kids while I was at work. They was home in the summer. I wanted to know what they was doing, but I would also have conversations with them to get a gist of what they was going to be doing that day. What you doing today? What you doing tomorrow? What you got going on? I would have those kind of conversations. And I know it's a lot more challenging when you only have one child. And because I had 4 kids. So all of my kids could look out for one another. And they had a bunch of cousins. So my kids were never by themselves. Total. You know. But you gotta have some accountability for yourself and your children. Right? You choose the neighborhood you live in as parents. You know you have an only child. Why is he not supervised during the day in the summertime. In Columbia, South Carolina, where Confederate flag was on the state capitol, which is in Columbia. You don't know where you at? But this wasn't a racial issue. I'm just saying as a parent to be aware. I'm very familiar with Columbia. I used to live on Two Notch Road. When I left Orangeburg in the 90s, I moved to Columbia. I lived on Two Notch Road. So I'm very familiar with the city of Columbia. I worked at Pulliam Ford. I managed McDonald's on Clemson Road. I know the city. Owner's Box was my spot. Shout out to the Owner's Box. Hell, me and Amanaz, we used to go down to the Comedy House, which is in Columbia right there, on Two Notch and Decker Boulevard, right? I think that's where it's at. That was one of our spots. We used to drive down there to go catch a show. We've been down there multiple times. That was one of our things. Me, her, and Kay. Right? But Black people, it's time to be responsible. Stop crying wolf, screaming racism every time something happens for your family. Was there something you could do to prevent it? This ain't a Jordan Davis situation. This ain't a Trayvon Martin situation. Trayvon Martin was walking home from the store. He had money. He went in the store, bought the Skittles and the tea, the watermelon, the iced tea, Arizona tea, and was walking home. And that situation happened to him through no fault of his own. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything to initiate that. Jordan Davis was sitting in the back seat of a car and the music was playing too loud and some random guy just didn't like it. Right? Mike Brown's situation wasn't his fault. They tried to claim that he stole some money or stole something from the store, but he actually paid for what he bought from the store. That's why nobody inside the store called the police. The police got called after he left by somebody else, if I remember correctly. I'm curious. Maybe I got that wrong. It was a long time ago. Computer, in the Mike Brown case, who called the police on Mike Brown?
A convenience store clerk called the police after Michael Brown allegedly stole cigars and shoved them. The clerk reported a black male in a white t-shirt running toward Quick Trip with stolen Swisher Sweet cigars.
Computer, I thought Mike Brown actually paid for those cigars.
I understand you're saying Mike Brown paid for those cigars. What evidence do you have to support this claim?
I just remember at the time of the case, that was one of the reports I thought I heard, because he actually waited for his change.
I understand you recall hearing that Mike Brown waited for his change. However, the official reports describe the incident as a theft where Brown forcefully shoved the clerk and left the store without paying. It's not uncommon for different accounts to emerge in high-profile cases like this.
That's true. That's why I'm double-checking now.
Got it. Double-checking facts is always a good approach, especially with complex cases like this.
Now, while we're speaking about Mike Brown, he was actually shot on the top of his head. Is that correct?
Yes, Michael Brown was fatally shot by Officer Darren Wilson on August 9th, 2014 in Ferguson, Missouri. The incident occurred around 12:02 p.m. after an encounter between Brown and Wilson.
And he was shot through the top of his head, correct?
Yes, Michael Brown was shot twice in the head, including one shot that entered the top of his skull. This wound was likely the fatal shot, according to a private autopsy conducted at the family's request.
So, computer, my question is, based on the height of the police officer and based on Mike Brown's height, which he was a tall man, how do you get shot on the top of your head?
Michael Brown was 6 feet 4 inches, and Officer Wilson was also 6 feet 4 inches. The shot to the top of Brown's head likely occurred when Brown was bending forward or falling, based on the autopsy findings.
So that would suggest that he was probably surrendering, which is why he would be bending down. And then the police officer shot him.
The evidence suggests Brown was shot multiple times while moving forward. While some witnesses claimed he had his hands up, the autopsy showed he was likely bending forward or falling when shot in the head.
And in that situation, why would he be bending over if not to surrender?
The autopsy showed Brown was likely bending forward or falling when shot in the head. Wilson claimed Brown charged at him after a brief pursuit, while witness accounts varied significantly.
Nobody charges with their head down towards a police officer.
That's a good point. The autopsy showed Brown was likely bending forward or falling when shot in the head. While some witnesses claimed he had his hands up, others described different positions. The exact circumstances remain complex and debated.
Can we speculate for a moment that it's more likely that he was surrendering to get down on the ground, and that's why he was bending?
While some witnesses claimed Brown had his hands up, the DOJ report found no credible evidence he was surrendering. The autopsy showed he was likely bending forward or falling when shot, but witness accounts varied significantly about his movements and intentions.
Okay, stop repeating that. I got it. Why would you be bending over if not to surrender? What other reason would he bend over?
People bend forward for many reasons, reaching for something, losing balance, or even charging. In Brown's case, some witnesses described him moving forward, while others saw it as a charge. The exact reason remains debated.
People don't, a 6'4" man doesn't bend over to then charge somebody. That is ridiculous.
You're right. It's not typical for someone to bend over to charge. In Brown's case, witness accounts varied significantly about his movements and intentions that day.
You're not going to bend over when somebody's pointing a gun at you, especially a police officer.
You're right. It's not typical to bend over when facing a police officer with a gun. In high-stress situations, people react differently. Some might crouch, others might raise their hands. The exact circumstances of what happened that day remain complex and debated.
The witnesses report the officer telling him to freeze, don't move.
Witnesses reported conflicting accounts about what Officer Wilson said to Michael Brown. Some witnesses claimed Wilson told Brown to stop and get on the ground, while others described a more aggressive confrontation.
So let's assume Wilson told Mike Brown to get on the ground, and then Mike Brown was complying and bending over to get on the ground. Doesn't that seem logical?
Yeah, that's a pretty reasonable take. When someone's being told to get down, they'd naturally bend forward to comply. Makes sense that Brown might have been in that position when the fatal shot happened.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's racism. I could see the racist aspect of that. And that's what I remember at the time of that shooting. Um, now, I I remember that the 911 call came after Mike Brown had already been gone from the store. Let's explore that. And I'm trying to show y'all again how to use your AI tool to do this. Is easy to do. Just have a conversation, ask questions instead of jumping these loud ass mouth women jumping up, ain't did no research. They going by what they heard on MSNBC or CNN and don't know nothing they talking about. And a lot of times they didn't even hear the news themselves. They going by third party information, which somebody else supposedly heard. They always say, I heard this or I heard that, and they ain't heard shit. And then they jump on my podcast with that nonsense. What the hell are you talking about? The hell is this? Shout out to Bishop Nathaniel. What the hell is this? Computer? The Mike Brown case. How long after Mike Brown left the store?
Michael Brown, an 18-year-old
Stop.
was fatally shot by Officer Darren Wilson in Ferguson, Missouri on August 9th, 2014. The incident began when Wilson confronted Brown and his friend Dorian Johnson for walking in the street. A struggle ensued in Wilson's vehicle,
Stop.
after which both men fled. Wilson pursued
Computer.
Brown and fought.
Stop. Please stop interrupting me before I ask you my question. So, at the time, Mike Brown...
I'll wait for your full question.
Computer. How long before or after Mike Brown left the store did the clerk supposedly call 911?
The 911 call was made at 11:51 a.m., the same time Michael Brown and Dorian Johnson were at the store. Brown left the store around the same time the call was placed.
So the call was made immediately after he left?
Yep, the 911 call came in at 11:51 a.m., right as Brown and Johnson were leaving the store.
And we can confirm that they were leaving in the store by, I assume, surveillance footage?
Yep, surveillance footage from the Ferguson market confirmed Brown and Johnson were leaving the store at 11:54 a.m., just minutes after the 911 call came in at 11:53.
So the call came in before they left the store.
Actually, the 911 call came in at 11:51 a.m. before Brown and Johnson left the store at 11:54 a.m.
So they were still in the store when the call came in.
That's right. The 911 call came in at 11:51 a.m., and Brown and Johnson were still in the store when it was placed. They left the store about 3 minutes later at 11:54 a.m.
It seems strange to me that somebody stealing would then stay in the store for 3 extra minutes while the clerk is calling the police.
It does seem unusual. However, people in stressful situations often behave unpredictably. Would you like to explore some possible explanations for why this might happen?
Yes, because the person that wasn't stealing would say, go ahead and call the police. I don't care. I didn't do nothing. And wait for their change.
That's an interesting perspective. Have you considered that someone might stay in the store due to shock, confusion, or not realizing they're suspected? Stores can legally detain someone they reasonably believe is shoplifting, but the person has the right to remain silent and wait for police.
A large man like Mike Brown, 6'4", is not in any kind of shock because somebody accused him of stealing in a corner store.
That's a fair point about physical size potentially affecting someone's reaction. People respond differently to confrontational situations regardless of their physical stature, though Brown's size might have influenced how he perceived the threat level of the situation.
Well, I'm considering all of the evidence in its entirety. So it just doesn't seem reasonable to me that a big man like Mike Brown would then stand there for 3 extra minutes because he was scared. No. Or he was in shock. No way. But a person, computer, but a person who didn't do anything would stay there for a couple of extra minutes. Like, oh yeah, I want my money back. And wait for his money. And then when he realized they wouldn't give him his money, then he walked out.
That's an interesting perspective. Have you considered that someone might stay due to shock, confusion, or not realizing they're suspected? Stores can legally detain someone
Computer.
reasonably.
You already said that, and I'm responding to it. Yes, I did consider it, and that's not reasonable to me, considering Mike Brown, how large he was, and how Black culture operates. No large Black man is going to be in shock just because somebody accused him of whatever, or it was some kind of confrontation in the store. He waited 3 extra minutes.
All right, I hear you. You're making a specific point about cultural context and physical presence. It's definitely a complex situation with many factors at play.
Yes, that's all I want to say.
Got it. What else can I help with?
Nothing.
Sounds good. Take care.
So I don't want to relitigate that trial. That it wasn't a trial, that case. But it was a lot of foolishness and stupid talk. Just let's think realistically. A 6'4" Black guy. Are you kidding me? I heard at the time he actually paid for the Swisher Sweep. Matter of fact, hold on a second. Computer, was there a wallet or anything recovered on Mike Brown's person?
No weapon or stolen items were found on Mike Brown's person. The only item mentioned was a box of Swisher Sweet cigars he was accused of stealing from the Ferguson market.
What about a wallet or money?
The reports don't mention any money or wallet being found on Mike Brown. Would you like to know more about what was found at the scene?
No. How old was Mike Brown?
Michael Brown was 18 years old when he was killed in 2014.
Another young man. My point is, and my son will be 18 next month. So I'm very empathetic of this situation. But I think he had money. I find it very interesting. You know, certain things, it's not always what's said, but what's not said that often catches my attention. He went into that store with his friend to buy a cigar or a box of cigars. And, you know, he had a little reputation around the neighborhood. They didn't like him, whatever. And they wanted to F with him. Right? And he wasn't scared. But when the cop ran up on him and told him to get down, he was doing it. And he got shot through his head, through the top of his head. The only way you could shoot a man that tall through the top of his head, even though the cop, Wilson, was the same height, Mike Brown had to be bending over. You don't charge somebody. You don't bend over and run at a cop with a gun with your head down. Nobody does that. I've never heard of that. And I'm from the hood and been in hoods all over this country. Never heard of that. That's ridiculous. Only somebody who's not familiar with that kind of environment would say such things. It's ridiculous. That was some racist shit. That cop, not the police department, that individual cop. Right? Make sure y'all check in with the chat. Hit the like, subscribe, share button. Y'all know what to do. So I'm going to change directions for a little bit. A little dating advice for you ladies. The foolishness is just astounding to me. And y'all always do things based solely on what's in your squirrely brains. And y'all don't consider the black man at all. The purpose of a dating profile is to attract the man. So you should be showing the man things he wants to see. Correct? Can y'all agree with me on that? Can we agree right there before we continue? Well, let me tell you some things maybe y'all don't know. So I'm going to put it out there. I want to inform. I want to edify. Things men don't want to see. The first thing we don't want to see when looking at your dating profile is a long-ass paragraph in the About Me section. All of that, you jibber-jabber y'all talk, we skip right over it. 9 times out of 10, we don't even read it. We're looking to see. We're trying to see what you look like. Because y'all put bad pictures up. Usually. So we'll scroll down to see if you have other pictures so we can get a better idea of what you look like. Makes sense? We just look in the About Me section, just a brief introduction or brief information. But all of that long-ass paragraph on what you ain't gonna do and all of that, sassy talk, we ain't interested in. Most of the time, that'll make us swipe no on your profile, even if you're cute. What we don't want to see are pictures of your children. Why are you putting pictures of your children on a dating profile? We don't care about your kids. We don't want to see pictures of other family members. We don't want to see that. And some of y'all, every picture you got somebody else in it. We trying to figure out who you are. We don't want to see nobody else. A lot of y'all will lie on your dating profile. You lie about what job you got, what job title you got. And if you're not flat out lying, you're being vague, you're being deceptive and manipulative, right? Just say, I work at Walmart. I'm a cashier. Why is that hard? For example, health industry. What the fuck does that mean? Are you working at a hospital? Are you a phlebotomist? Are you a nurse assistant? Y'all come up like list the job title as it appears on your check stub. Y'all make up job titles and we don't know what the hell y'all talking about. I be like, what? What is that? You might as well have not put anything. You're going to put a vague term that nobody knows what that means. You may as well put nothing. Stupid. And if you're communicating that bad up front, it only gets worse. And usually that's what happens. I'm 50 years old. I got a lot of experience with this. And I've been doing online dating since the beginning. Y'all make it difficult for yourselves and then you wonder why you don't have success at finding a man of any quality. Not high value, of quality. Any quality. Solid guy, solid job, just a regular guy doing his thing, surviving. But he has requirements too. But y'all have been taught in today's world, Black women, the man gets nothing. We don't want to see a list of things that you want. How about instead give us a list of things you're willing to do for a man instead of telling us what you want from a man? Men like me, I've been hearing for 50 years what women want. It's all the same shit. And it's annoying. We don't want to hear it. What we want to hear is what you're willing to do. And when we ask y'all are offended. Men started asking that, what do you bring to the table question. Y'all got offended by that. I rewrote the question. What are you willing and eager to do for the man you want? What are you willing to do for him? Duty, right? But Kevin used to talk about that all the time. Duty. Duty means you are responsible for doing something. That's what duty is alluding to. What is that thing? Let's put it out front. And be honest about it. But a lot of times when we talking to y'all, we'll ask y'all that. And no, you answer first. So y'all can try to copy our answer. No, you answer first. I just gave you the definition. Y'all so smart and educated, y'all don't know what basic words mean. You don't know how to look up. You got a smartphone, use it, smarty. Duty is what are you going to do? And some of you, you're not your grandmother. You want to take credit for things that your moms and grandmoms and great grandmas did in previous generations. You want to kind of piggyback off of their achievements. But y'all aren't those women. But those women had duty. They knew, especially the grandma. My grandmother was a silent generation woman. That generation women, they had a sense of duty. They knew they had to do things for a man. And those men were regular men. They weren't six-figure men. They weren't the top of the top men that y'all want. Y'all want to get better men, which we are. Gen X is better than silent generation men. So you're getting a better man overall, generally speaking, than your grandmother's got, but you don't want to do nothing. You don't want to do anything. And y'all are always so tired and exhausted. And you ain't did nothing. You sat at a desk all day. Yeah, you had a light stress job. You're not working hard as y'all claim, y'all. And then most of y'all spend so much time in your bed. Only time I saw my grandmother in the bed is when she was going to sleep at night. My grandmother was never just sitting up in the bed or laying up in the bed watching TV. Some of y'all are ridiculous. You don't want to do nothing. I saw a girl on the Fugazi podcast Shout out to Cooley on the Fugazi podcast. What was the girl named Dung Quisha? Dung with a G, Quisha, talking about black women are superior. Not today, you aren't. Y'all don't do shit. She was just ridiculous. He entertained her way longer than I would have. She looked like a damn piranha with them gold teeth in her mouth and that all that masculine nigga shit. And women like that make y'all look real bad. She's the worst of the worst. Worst of the worst. And she was an older woman. For her to be behaving the way she was behaving, it was totally an embarrassment. My grandmother's generation would have just said no class about her. She was a trashy woman, is what my grandmother would have said about her. Y'all are not my grandmother's generation. And that's the worst of the worst. But these are y'all mamas today. That's Big Mama today. With them gold teeth in the mouth and all that, the bandana on the head and the weave underneath it and the nigga talk and poor communication skills and ignorance. That's who's out here supposed to be leading the community. And she got the nerve to make an argument about women like her are superior. Unbelievable. And this is why men have checked out. Men have checked out because they grew up with mamas like that, with aunties like that, cousins, sisters, just women in the community who behave like that and think that's cute and that's acceptable. Oh my God, she wasn't, and she wouldn't have had the gold teeth. She wasn't particularly a completely unattractive woman, but with all that shit on and that attitude and behavior, oh my God, no way. There's no way. I wouldn't even get aroused by that. And then her not being able to get me aroused, it would be just, oh, you got ED. And all these men got ED. Those are the women that we supposed to get turned on by. Really? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Stop posting pictures on the profile. You got 10 pictures, all the same pose. Here go the headshot or whatever. We know you fat. We can tell by your face. Okay? So why hide it? You got men out here, as I've said before, who like large women. Me personally, I find some large women attractive. So why hide it? You're not fooling anybody. Again, that's deception. And why do we need to see 10 of them pictures almost identical? Same exact hairstyle. We don't care about your hair. We don't need to see 50 different hairstyles where you got 10 different wigs and weave colors in. We get it. We don't like that. We want to see your natural hair or maybe some braids or locks. We don't want to see the purple weave, the blonde hair, if you're not naturally blonde. We want to see you. We don't want to see a bunch of your pictures of you cooking food because I can't remember the last time a woman cooked for me and the last time a woman cooked for me of any regularity. I cook better than you by far. So I ain't, that ain't nothing. We ain't our grandfathers. Our grandfathers didn't know how to cook. So, and our dads and them really didn't know how to cook. So they needed women that could cook. We don't need to see y'all cooking. It ain't a big deal. And that'll come up in conversation. And then some of y'all to go, I'm advertising for my business. On a dating site, That's not the appropriate place. It's a dating site. Men are engaging with you or looking at your profile to date, not for business opportunities. See how disingenuous? That's what y'all bring to the table. A lot of foolishness and disingenuous behavior. It's ridiculous. Now, you can do that on Facebook because that's part of social media and you're engaging with friends and families, and that's cool. But a dating profile, we do not need to see food pics, your business opportunities. That is not what that's for. And usually, y'all quote unquote business opportunities ain't nothing more than side hustles at best. And you ain't making no money. That's what the facts, data, and statistics show. Y'all ain't got no money, even the most educated of y'all don't make no money. You have no net worth. So let's stop with the foolishness. Tasty Cakes was living here with me for about a year, not over a year, but about a year. I could count on my hands how many conversations we had about money. And I don't work, she do. But the times that we did have financial conversation, it was always about me helping her. She didn't pay any bills here. She didn't buy any groceries here. All she was responsible for with her full-time job was taking care of herself, and she needed help. I don't care how much money y'all make, what your education level or career field is, y'all all need help at some point, and y'all expect a man to contribute to your lifestyle. But when y'all got all this money and y'all bosses, y'all ain't never ready to kick out no money and help out and contribute, not even when it benefits you. She never not once said to me, hey, baby, I know you said I ain't, you got everything covered, but I don't like living anywhere for free. I like to contribute. Here go $500 for me to contribute, being that you're paying all of the bills and feeding for a year. That never happened. Where's your sense of pride? I never let my daughter go anywhere. And I'm talking about Imagine. And if she won't hear, she can vouch for it. I never let Imagine go on a date without having money in her pocket. She always had enough money to go on a date or a trip. A lot of times she would go out with a little boyfriend somewhere and his family somewhere. I always made sure she had money. I never sent my kids out anywhere and they couldn't pay for themselves. Even if, and a lot of times, the young man's family would pay her way, but she also had her money. She always had money to get home. She went to Asheville one time. I gave her $100. She like, Dad, no, his family gonna pay for everything. I understand. Put the $100 in your pocket just in case. Something might happen, argument breaks out, whatever. You need to be able to get yourself home. You can get home from Asheville to Charlotte with $100. Or maybe not Atlanta, but you can get yourself out of this situation. You got $100 in your pocket. You can get out of the situation, go somewhere else, so that way you can call home, or she could call home, and then I get a home. That's the way I operated with my kids. Dream, I always made sure he had a couple of dollars in his pocket. That's how I wrote. But there were times, plenty of times, when their friends would go places with us. and they didn't have no money. I'm taking my kid out to dinner. He wanted his friends to come for a graduation dinner. So we all go out, and at the end of the day, at the end of the dinner, they ain't got no money. And we had a Chinese buffet or P.F. Chang's or something like that, Dream Like Chinese food. So we there. Now I got to pay for all of his friends. Who are these parents? Who are they? Unbelievable. Ain't even, and his friends, my son had non-black friends. His friends wasn't black. My son was a skateboarder. So you can imagine. They're white, they're Asian, they're other. So I'm like, who the hell are y'all people in today's environment? Y'all ain't got no class. It ain't always a racism issue. It's a class issue. Y'all don't have no class. See, because classy people be fighting over the bill. Nah, I'm going to pay. Nah, man, you got it last time. It's my turn. You know, be fighting over who going to pay. I went out with my man Merle. He gave me a ride to the pizzeria the other day. I rode with him to the pizza. I paid for his pizza. We both got a large pizza. It was $14. But if I had went to the pizzeria myself, I'd have paid $15 just to Uber there. So I helped him out. Like, I got you, Merle. And he was so, you know, that's showing you got class. Don't worry about it. I got it. And he felt bad knowing I'm on a fixed income. He was like, man, I really don't want to do that. I said, Merle, if you drop me off at home and I got to go back out later to eat, I'm going to spend more. I'm going to spend double trying to go get something to eat. So buying you a pizza ain't nothing. And him and his wife, what happened? It was her special day. So, I mean, come on, man. Merle been good to me, man. He'll give me rides, places. That saves me money. He don't never ask me for nothing. You know? He do me favors all the time. So, just having class. Going back to the dating profile, same thing. Show some class. We don't want to see the eyelash. Every picture you have, you got them damn cum catchers on your face, in your eyeballs. You don't have no regular pictures of yourself. You got a camera phone in your pocket. You don't have no regular pictures. We can't see what you normally look like. Who am I going to be dealing with on a regular basis? Back in the day when I was coming up, those were called glamour shots. We don't want to see glamour shots, ladies. We want to see the real you as regular as possible. You big girls, again, I ain't got no problem with y'all. I like a chubby girl, but some of y'all are ridiculously obese. And you could tell by looking at your arms. Some of y'all arms are almost twice the size of my thighs. I know I'm skinny now, but still. Some of y'all arms are ridiculous. And you're 30 years old, you're 40 years old, and you got Big Mama arms. Like, Big Mama was 70 years old. Your arms look like her arms. Your arms, you could just see the obesity in your arms. That's not healthy. And what's going to happen when you get up in age? That's not a healthy way to live. And y'all ain't doing nothing about it because you're lazy. You're not just a little chubby. You are obese. You can see the fat just jiggling on some of y'all arms. You got the fat lady arms with the arms just, every time you move your arm, the shit just giggle. And then when you stop your arm, it's still moving. I'm not being funny. Like that shit is ridiculous. Jeez. Has to do better. Here go my Aunt Wendy at midnight posting doggone pictures of the Knicks. My Aunt Wendy lives in New Jersey. She's been a Knicks fan all her life. So I'll let her get that. Congratulations. Let me type congrats to her. All right. TJ. TJ smart ass. TJ, stop being a smart ass. I just read your text message. But anyway, shout out to TJ on Through the Fire podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe to him. He's one of my moderators. Great content creator. Angry ass. But I'm trying to think of some more of these things. And I may go back over this list maybe tomorrow, do a whole stream just dedicated to this topic of dating profiles, Black women dating profiles, do's and don'ts. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. Don't overcomplicate. What are you willing and eager to do for the man you say you want? Not me, who you say you want. I asked a girl that question one time, young lady, young woman, mature woman. She was in her 40s. That exact question. She said to me, nothing. At first, she wanted to play dumb. Y'all are so fucking smart, but until somebody asks you a simple question, what are you willing and eager to do for the man you want? They try to answer questions the way they think you want them to answer the question. No, I want you to answer the question honestly. That's what I'm asking. It's a simple question. What are you willing to do? What are you willing and eager? So after some struggle, because you gotta, it's like pulling teeth. It's a struggle to get the information out. They can't just answer a simple question. Right? Because they got to go, well, I don't know, you answer first. They try to answer a question with an answer with a question, or they try to get you to answer your own question first. No, we're not playing them games. Answer my question, please, or I'll say goodnight to you. There's no reason for us talking if you don't know how to communicate. I'm not going to do that. I'm too old. I'm too old. So finally, she goes, after me going back and forth with her for about 10 minutes, she finally said nothing. And then they always try to put that in sign language in there. Shame, insult, guilt, need to be right. So the insult, well, a real man wouldn't want his woman to do nothing. So you think you're going to get into a relationship where the man doesn't want to get any benefit from you? When has that ever happened? And where does that make sense? You ain't got to do nothing, just, it's me. I'm here. I remember Kevin asked a woman that one night on his show. Rest in peace to the Godfather. He said, what do you bring to the table to the woman? And she said, me. What does that mean? He said. Because it doesn't, she had a whole list of shit that she required from, and she was cute. She was a cute dark skinned girl. She had a cute smile. I would have put her at a, I didn't see her body, but based on her face, she was a 5. She was a solid 5. Nice hair. Her hair was nice, and she had pretty lips, and she had a cute smile. And she was, I would say, she had a feminine personality. She wasn't, masculine at all, but she was entitled and arrogant a little bit. But see, girls like her who are passive aggressive, they try to hide their aggression underneath that facade of being soft-spoken and cute, But Kevin wasn't having it. He was seeing through it like I was. And, I bring meat. What does that mean? What are you going? And then they start listing intangible things. I'm inspirational and I bring motivation and that. No, what do you bring to the table? He asked. Meaning, what can you physically set on this table? You can't set motivation on the table. You can't set inspiration on the table unless it's some currency. Okay? You want to motivate me, set some currency on the table since you want to play that game. But all of that is the empty table. And I asked you that question, and then it's still an empty table. That means you brought nothing. You can't even put your ass on the table. Hell, that would be a good answer. Put your ass up on the table. Open that legs up. I know what to do. I like that position. I've done that position. I'm the Cookie Monster. I like that position. So here's what I bring to the table. That would have been a viable answer. Here you go. Spread your legs eagle. Okay, I could take that. And then afterwards, we're going to get in what else you got. What's the dessert? Rather, you gave me the dessert. What else? What's the entree? But, and depending on where she was from, I can't remember where she was from. I mean, you know how long ago that was when Kevin was alive. But depending on where she was from, she could have easily been a 6. She could have been above average. For example, had that same girl been located here in Gastonia, she would have been a 6. She would have been above average. Depending on what kind of body she had, she might have been an adjustable 6. She had a nice little body. She might have been something special dressed up on some days to go out for dinner or something, So, but if she has been somewhere, Charlotte, Atlanta, New York, Dallas, Houston, larger places, she would have just been average, But sometimes girls, especially in a country town, it goes to their head being a cute girl. You cute with a body. You've been treated like you was the shit your whole life. Even though other places, your ranking goes up and down. And that's why, when I remember recently a chick hit me up on Facebook dating, and she had where was she located? She was located in Raleigh, and she had, I think, that she either worked. No, she had that she went to school at UNC. So when we were conversating, and me and her actually got on the phone. We were on the phone, And I said, oh, okay, yeah, I see you're educated. You went to UNC. She was like, no, I just put that on my profile. I'm like, and then she also said that she wasn't even located in Raleigh, nowhere near Raleigh. It was somewhere else, like an hour away. So I'm like, why did you put those things? Did you just recently relocate or something? I think she lived down here. If I'm not mistaken, because I only talked to her that one time after she admitted to lying. Because then I asked her, why did you put that on here? Well, she like, I didn't like her communication style. Oh, I just put something on my profile. You know how it is. You know. No, I don't. Because everything on my profile is accurate. Why would you put a lie on your profile? And then she went today, she would never, being that I caught her in this lie, she's trying to just like brush past it. And I wouldn't let her move past it. I said, Miss, we're not moving past this. You got to give me a better explanation than you know. I don't know. I've never seen anybody do this. And I've been online dating from the beginning. Okay. From the beginning. I've never seen anybody do that. I'm sure other people have done it. I've never seen it. And then give me that response. Like, that's cool and it happens all the time. No. So if you quick to lie like that on your profile, I know you're a liar. You're just a liar. She was sweet. She was sweet spoken, feminine, She wasn't raunchy or masculine either. But that's that passive aggressive. And no, I don't know. And that's why you ladies, y'all wind up with the men you wind up with. To see a lower quality man would have let her get that. I'm not letting you get that. You want better, you got to do better, as Amanaz would say. Or you do what you know. So all you know is lying, using her philosophy. That you just in an environment where you're so comfortable being a liar on multiple things. It wasn't just one lie. Here, right off the rip, I done caught you in 2 or 3 lies, and we ain't even been on the phone 5 minutes. And all I was just doing, it was like a basic introduction. We couldn't get past the introduction. Because I think I asked her, hey, you come down to Gastonia very often? And she says, oh, I'm in Gastonia or something, or I'm in Belmont or somewhere nearby. And then that's what prompted me to go, well, but I see you went to school in Raleigh at UNC. And then she got caught. No. Because I think I also said, oh, I see you a Tar Heels fan. And she wasn't familiar with sports. So she admitted she wasn't. I just didn't get it. I mean, she wasn't that cute. She was average to below average, between a 4 and a 5. She had average. Everything about her was average. Average looks, average body. I forgot what she told me she worked at, but it was an average job, nothing special. There was nothing special about her profile. But I was interested, because I like average. I like regular women. That's what I like. I like pretty women too, but I don't like overly pretty women. Right? I don't like that. I like women 5s and 6s. 4s, 5s, and 6s is where I like my women. Regular women. That's regular. 4s, 5s, and 6s. That's what I like. I love to get a 4 with a spectacular body. Love that. Or like to get a 6 with a regular body. Love that too. Holiday is like that. Holiday is a 6. She's got a cute face with a regular body. That's her. She's in the cute category. And I would maybe put her at adjustable 7 or adjustable 6 because I've seen her dress up. There have been a couple of times we going out to eat and she looks very nice. And I love when she wears dresses. She looks very nice in a dress. She's exactly what I like. Physically. Tasty Cakes was tall. I didn't realize how tall at first because she was sitting down. When I first met her, she was sitting on my couch. So I just happened to look. I could tell she was thick. She had some legs on her. I said, ooh, I better get out of here. I like them legs. And I seen her legs through her jeans. That's how I could tell how nice her legs was. And I was right. I ended up being right because I'm an expert. And when I ended up seeing her naked for the first time and I could actually see her legs, tall, thick, and she had a cute smile. So Tasty Cakes was about average, 5 in the face, tall and thick, soft-spoken. She had a nice voice, feminine voice. No kids, located, couldn't get no better location. Right across the parking lot here. It was a lot of things I liked about her. Good conversation. Those things are important. And she was sitting in my house. I wasn't trying to fuck her. I was just curious about where her mindset was. And it was enough there where I was attracted to. And we engaged back and forth. It wasn't like we exchanged numbers and it wasn't one-way communication. I text her, she texts me back. She texts me, I text her back. We did that the whole night after I had got her back in the car to get her keys because she was locked out. After the locksmith came. And then I ended up taking her some dinner because a dinner that she had bought from the store had got frozen from being in the car when she got locked out. So she happened to say, she was hungry and her food was frozen. Her hot dog from the gas station was frozen. So I said, baby, you want something to eat? I got roast. I cooked roast, mashed potatoes, and collard greens that night. And a dinner roll. So I took a plate and I fed it the first night I met her. And shortly thereafter, I think we talked every day after that. And then shortly thereafter, we were boyfriend and girlfriend. Until we weren't. I love that woman though, man. I would have never broke up with her. I really didn't have a reason to. It was no real issue no real red flag. She had a couple of yellow flags, but not no real red flag until it was. So, yeah, I loved her. See, I don't have a problem admitting to y'all when I love a woman. I love Holiday. I loved Red. I've loved Red for decades. That don't mean I'm not a simp. I'm not gonna put up with bullshit because I love you or because you look a certain way. And Tasty Cakes, her performance was spectacular. She just had good performance throughout, her whole self. She performed well at things. Some things she didn't, but mostly, especially the intimacy. And oh my God, she's a phenomenal kisser, banging head. She makes my top 5. And that's saying something. And the coochie, a top 5 coochie. top five coochie, top five head, and then other good characteristics. And she held me down while I was sick when I couldn't walk. She took care of me. And I'm grateful for that. So she still got some cool points out there that's lingering out there if she ever need me, and I'm in a position where I could help her, I would, based on things that she did for me. I don't forget people and forget what people have done for me. I don't forget that. Even though we broke up, it was kind of fucked up at the end. But the beginning, the first majority of the relationship was good. My daughter, imagine Aaliyah the Don can't stand it. Because, for whatever reason, I'm not going to put that out there now, but imagine couldn't stand it. But I love the woman. Sometimes y'all will fuck it up. You do too much. KISS, keep it simple. Figure out what it is you're willing to do, what you're willing and eager. That part has to be in. I don't want you just willing to give me some head when I ask for it. I want you eager to do it. I want both things. I want you willing and eager, because I give that to women. I am willing and eager to eat them cookies. Most of the time, a woman ain't got to ask. But if you do, no hesitation. I want the same in return. And it should be your duty. Peace, cooperation, affection, and good head. That's what tomorrow's show is going to be about. That's a little sneak peek. I added one. It used to be peace, cooperation, and good head. But now it's going to be peace, cooperation, affection, and good head. Because see, some of y'all women, especially in today's world, y'all to give up the coochie, but you're not affectionate. Basically, y'all just dead fucks. You just lay there or you're bend over. No affection. I like to feel a woman's lips all over my body. That's what I like. And you need to be willing and eager to do it. I don't want to have to ask. I want you just to do it. And you need to have these conversations, men and women, in the beginning. What are your expectations? I tell women these things up front. Here's what I expect. Are you a good kisser? That's important for me. See, those 4 things that I just mentioned, that's the minimum for the majority of men. But then the individual man is going to have, you got to be customized for him. He going to have other things he requires. So one of the other things I require is I'd like a woman to be a good kisser. Because to me, the better the woman is a kisser, the better kisser a woman is, the better she gives head. There were many nights me and Chase the Case would lay in bed and we would just kiss for an hour, 2 hours. We just laying there kissing each other. No sex, just kissing each other. And I'm told I'm rock hard, I'm turned on, she aroused, her nipples about to pop off of her titty, because she's so horny. But it's a different level of intimacy when you could just kiss somebody like that and be aroused and turned on and don't want to stop, fall asleep kissing. Some of you ain't never experienced that. You don't know what I'm talking about because you lazy. You lazy in everything. It's always minimal. You want to do the bare minimum through everything. You don't want to do nothing, put your best foot forward. Not even for the man you want. Here she had a man paying 100% of everything. She ain't had to pay nothing, keep 100% of her check. The least you could do is give me peace, cooperation, affection, and good head. And she did. Even if you got a man, other groups of men, they could be homeless. They could be with a minimum wage job, a legal immigrant. Their women treats him like a king. They ain't got to be a high value man to get that treatment. But even when y'all get a high value man today, y'all don't even want to give him the treatment. And then the man cheat on you, and then you want to boo-hoo later on. Oh, he cheated on me. Girl was telling on the Fugazi podcast. Was it Fugazi? Yeah. I think it was Fugazi. Either him, I think it might have been Kevin. It might have been by watching one of his clips. And the girl was saying, it was the cute girl. The cute dark girl with the nice hair. Her baby daddy, who she had 2 kids with, might I add you, he wanted to still be with her. She didn't want to be with him, and it eventually came out that he cheated on her. Right? And then she had another baby by him, even after he cheated. So that's bullshit, is what I call. How did you know he was cheating? She went through his phone. You went looking for it. I have a problem with that. When you go looking for trouble, you will find it, my grandmother always said. So, but this man, he cheated. The man who wants to still be with you to this day, he cheated on you. Well, they always tell stories and leave out what they did wrong. So, me, hypothetically, what probably happened, she got pregnant, and during that pregnancy, she wasn't giving him the same level of sex. So he went and cheated. Because my wife did that shit to me when I was married. And then I go cheat because I got sexual needs. And I'm talking about, months had gone by and I'm being neglected sexually. So you're forcing me to go get it elsewhere. And then you want to try to use that against me because you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do. That would be like you doing a no call, no show at work. They fire you. And then you want to try to make up some justification on why you wasn't at work like it's their fault. No, you didn't show up. Just because you get pregnant don't mean you don't have a job to do. You still got a job to do. And pregnant coochie is some of the best coochie. Ooh, I could just imagine how good Tasty pregnant right now. Tasty Cakes. I could just imagine how good her pussy is right now. Oh my God, she had some of the most amazing pussy without being pregnant. So I could just imagine what that shit is like right now. Oh my God. She wouldn't be able to stay. She couldn't keep me off of her. She couldn't keep me off of her. I mean, with them pheromones going crazy and as sensitive as I am to pheromones, and Tasty Cake already had high pheromones. I used to always tell her that. That was a turn on for me, her pheromone level. Like, for example, Holiday don't have the high level of pheromones that Tasty Cakes has. And it could be due to the age, but there are times her pheromones kicks in and then I pick up on it and I got to jump on it. I jump dead on it. But I was always with it, with Tasty Cakes. She come over here now being pregnant. Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, she might need to get up out of here. What you want? Let me let you know. Let me give you a disclaimer. You know how I feel about you. You know about them pheromones. You already know. And right now, your pheromones are at the highest levels they've always ever been. See, a lot of young men, especially these men she deal with, they don't know their bodies. They don't know the female body, so they don't even know what they're reacting to. I'm fully aware of it. I've been studying women biologies since middle school, in depth. But women's pheromones, just like men's testosterone levels taper off as they get older, so do women's pheromones level. I forget what age. Computer, at what age does a woman's pheromone levels begin to decrease with significance?
Women's pheromone levels typically begin to decrease in their 40s during perimenopause. This decline continues after menopause, usually around age 50, as hormone production decreases.
And this is why women, you 40 plus year old women, y'all always think men should date when y'all women at y'all older age. Your pheromones aren't there. We're not attracted to you. It ain't just a physical thing. Because some of y'all look great. I've seen some 40 and 50-year-old women that look like they was 30. So it ain't your look, it's your chemistry. Plus your bad attitudes on top of that. So it's a combination of things that are happening, which why men prefer younger women. Computer, at what age are a woman's pheromones at their highest level?
Women's pheromone levels are typically highest in their 20s and 30s. Did you know that pheromones play a role in attraction throughout life?
Explain.
Women's pheromone levels are highest in their 20s and 30s. As they age, these levels naturally decline, especially during perimenopause in their 40s and after menopause around age 50. Higher estrogen and lower progesterone levels are linked to more attractive body odor in women.
So it's scientific. It's scientific. That's why older men, now that they're at their heights, they're earning the most money that they have usually in their lifetimes. In their 40s and 50s, they start earning the most. So they're at their most attractive. They have the most resources that they've ever had, usually. And they're attracted to women, younger women in their 20s and 30s. But see, y'all try to use shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. And to try to counteract, oh, you a pedophile and you a pedo and all of that talk, It's biology. Excuse me, I got to turn the air on. Got hot in here all of a sudden. Mm. So, yeah, but y'all got to put a little bit more effort. And then I see some of you women on your dating profiles got one picture. And it ain't even a great picture. It's just one picture, regular ass picture, not your best look. You're not even taking it seriously enough to fill the profile out. Like on Facebook dating, I think it's like 10 pictures or maybe a dozen. Come on, man. You got a dozen pictures in your phone. Just Complete the profile. But you got time to type a bunch of nonsense. Skip that shit. And men are visual. We want to get a look at you. Face shot, full body shot, a nice portrait, side profile. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see you. Y'all don't realize you're being deceptive with the angled shots. You know, the phone is up in the air, facing down at you. It's corny. And a lot of y'all are all
Those are called top-down shots or overhead shots, often achieved using a bird's eye view.
y'all are all doing the same shit. I don't remember that before, maybe 15 years ago. Prior to 15 years ago, women tried to look like an individual. Today, y'all just look like clones of each other. The red hair, the bull ring, the tattoos, titties out, the same poses, the top down shots. It's just ridiculous. Pictures of your kids. Nobody wants to see them little gremlins. It's already bad enough that you got a kid. Trying to date. That's already against you. Now you throwing it in our face and multiple pictures. It ain't just one picture, like it was a nice picture you just happen to take with your child in. Okay, I can live with that. But you're purposely posting all of these pictures with your kids, and they're not even good pictures. Nobody wants to see your kids. You care about your kids. We don't give a shit. I'm sorry. You don't give a shit about my kids. So why should I give a shit about yours? Holiday and myself. We got what, about 5 years in the game minimum? I've never met her son. Never. She met my daughter once or twice on FaceTime. But our kids ain't got nothing to do with our relationship. Now, if it gets to that point where we're really trying to be together, then yeah. Now, I understand that you're a package. You're not a single woman, but y'all do some of the most ridiculous things and no accountability, and the deception is just outstanding. And it doesn't get talked about enough on how deceptive you are and manipulative you are as a group. And then you get offended when you're caught in your lie. I've never understood that, or it ain't no, oh, well, I apologize, got me, nothing. I remember Kevin gave this girl one time, he gave her like a dozen chances to apologize. That's all she had to do. She just kept trying to skeet past what she had done wrong. He kept bringing it. We gonna stay right here. He told her, we gonna stay right here. She just would never apologize. It's excuse after excuse after excuse. And she was flat out wrong. That's an ugly characteristic to have. Ugly. And it's a nobody wants to be with a manipulative person. I have no reason to lie, especially to a complete stranger. Like, it's ridiculous. Vacation pics. Men do not want to see your vacation pics, ladies. It doesn't help you. It does you more harm. Because a man of any quality is not impressed. We actually get turned off. All your pictures is you on vacation or traveling. It's not cute. It's not cute. You on the beach, you waterfront, you on a cruise ship. You don't want to be next to the LAX sign, and we don't want to see that. It's not a flex like y'all think it is. It's actually low class. It's no class. You just toot your own horn. Again, that should come up in conversation. You're having a conversation, and have you traveled anywhere? And now you got things to talk about. But you don't show me everything. And y'all ain't that interesting to begin with. So you don't put out a good conversation, you don't took it off the table. You like to travel, but you ain't got no money. You behind on your bills. You out here door dashing. But you like to travel. Travel used to be something reserved for married women or women who had been married. Maybe they're not married now. More mature women who had some success and they can actually afford to travel. Stella got a groove back kind of shit. But just regular everyday, you work at Walmart ass issues, shit like that. It's not a flex. You don't pay your light bill so you can go to Mexico ass. What, you know what I mean? That's not a flex. You're not helping yourself, ladies. Just the regular pictures. The bathroom picture is even acceptable. One bathroom picture is acceptable. I don't want to see a dozen bathroom pictures. But you want to get in the mirror to get a certain pose or a certain angle, and your bathroom is the only place you can do it, that's okay. But we don't want to see 50 poses like this with your phone in front of your face. So all we see is a little glimpse of your body, but we don't know what your face looks like. The sunglasses in every picture. We don't want to see that either. The mask on your face. COVID has been over. We don't want to see your COVID mask. Why are you still wearing that? In 2026, halfway through 2026, still wearing COVID masks in every picture. I mean, come on. Silly. But that's all I got for the night. I'm getting tired. And I want to go sit down in my bedroom. So we'll pick this up tomorrow or later today, rather, since I ain't got nobody in here with me. And if y'all catch me on the replay, catch me on the replay, let me know. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for coming by the People's Podcast. I am your host, V. Ben Israel. But you can call me V.